Update. My boyfriend of 7 years cheated on me. I'm going to disappear from his life. Is there anything I'm missing? Original post. Hi 27 female, just found out my boyfriend, 29 male of 7 years cheated on me. My boyfriend went to our home state to see his family for the weekend. He's been going quite often this year, about once a month, saying it's because his grandparents are old and miss him. I thought nothing of it until this morning. I got a screenshot from a mutual friend of ours showing my boyfriend's location on Snapchat. He was at his parents' house, but a girl's bitmoji was there as well. It wasn't his sister or mom, and his parents, who weirdly also have Snapchat, weren't home either. He didn't tell me he was going to be with anyone else today. I tried to call him, but he did not pick up. I looked on Snapchat, and his location was turned off. The mutual friend says my boyfriend has told everyone at home that we had broken up 4 months ago. He said my boyfriend was making him stay quiet about it because he was trying to find the right time to tell me. As far as his parents know, he's moving home once our lease is up. The reason our mutual friend told me was because he walked in on my boyfriend and the girl hooking up this morning. I texted an old friend who lives in my hometown, and she immediately asked why my boyfriend was on Tinder. We caught up, and she sent me proof, his photos on Tinder and his bio. It hurt to see that photos I took of him were used. He had even covered my face in a photo we took together and wrote, "This could be you." I had no idea his family thought we were broken up and that he was looking for other people to date. We even went to Italy a month ago celebrating our 7-year anniversary. I'm so confused, and I don't know what to do. I look around, and everything in our apartment seems like a lie. The soon-to-be ex texted me just now and said he's on his flight back. He'll be back in about 5 hours. Obviously, he can find his own way to the apartment from the airport. I'm shocked and numb, but my best friend is with me helping me pack up all my clothes. I'm leaving, and I'm not leaving a trace of myself behind. Our dog is coming with me, and I'll be staying at my best friend's place for now. My soon-to-be ex and I already have separate bank accounts, and our joint account doesn't have much in it right now. I make more than he does, so he can keep it. I can't go to the leasing office because it's closed on Sundays, but I sent an email asking for early termination on the lease. We're registered as domestic partners, so I've completed the termination form and will drive it up to the LA County office tomorrow. He's on my health insurance, and I've sent the email to HR to kick him off ASAP. We have several large photo albums together, and I'm not sure what to do with those. Keeping them would be too difficult, but I don't want him to have the satisfaction of having our photos. It's clear he uses our memories in a horrible way. Is there anything I'm missing? I can't seem to think of everything, and all my thoughts feel jumbled. Nothing makes sense, but I know I can't stay. Any help to ghost a person this close to my heart would be appreciated. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Fill out a change of address form and list a friend's address for your mail. It's often overlooked. Additionally, if your shared pet is chipped, have the data on it updated and other pet-based records modified to suit the new circumstances. Remove him from your airline miles plan, if necessary. Focus on self-care, block him on all platforms, and remember that good people exist. He's just not one of them. P.S. Take pictures or video of the apartment before you leave, so he can't damage it and claim that you did it. Also remove him from streaming services and consider how to handle any utilities you pay for. Call your agent and make sure he is no longer listed as a driver on your car insurance, and change your mailing address. Do you have a toll road transponder? Is he listed as an emergency contact for anything? Someone mentioned registering your dog in your name. Do this. Also, remove him as a contact at the vet or boarding facility. Regarding the photo albums, put them in a box and revisit that in 6 months. There may be photos of friends or family you want to keep. OP, I'm so sorry this happened, but I'm so proud of you for being strong, loving yourself, and knowing your worth. Give it time and you'll be grateful you had the self-respect to do what was best for you. You have great taste in friends. Good luck, and let us know how it goes. If you happen to have any uncooked meat in the fridge, preferably shrimp or seafood, you might want to put it under the seat of the couch, behind the fridge, or in a curtain rod. Schedule an STD check. Cancel any utilities in your name. Take the Wi-Fi router with you, just for fun. I took all the spices when I left, not because I could readily use them, but because screw that guy. Didn't even leave salt and pepper. Put a cotton ball with your perfume inside some of the heat vents. So every time he is warm and comfortable, he also has to think of you. Now for the update. Thank you everyone for all the solid advice. I'm compiling everything I did in this first section, so if others need a way to cut contact with a person, they can reference this. As mentioned in the comments, I logged myself out of our Apple TV and Xbox. I canceled the Wi-Fi that I paid for and returned the modem to the carrier. I removed my payment information for utilities from our account. I packed up all my sauces, spices, and cooking oils and made sure to only leave dried rosemary behind. He hates that stuff. I printed out and framed the screenshot of his Tinder profile and left it on the kitchen table. I closed a piece of dog poop into the frame as well. I'll keep the photo albums. He can have this. I took a video of the entire apartment after packing up all my things. I left my keys in the leasing office mailbox and emailed the leasing office about my departure, attaching the videos showing what the apartment looked like prior to locking up. I updated my address with USPS, the vet, hospital, school, work, and my dog's chip. I talked to HR and am in the process of getting him off my health insurance, changing the beneficiary of my life insurance to my parents, if only I could name my dog, and updating my emergency contact. I'm going to the bank to take myself off the joint bank account. Fortunately, I'm not worried about my credit since all of our finances have stayed separate, but I'm grateful to those who told me to freeze my credit. I logged out of all devices for all streaming services, social media, and my work, personal and school emails. I blocked him on all social media, chat rooms, and his phone number. I made a doctor's appointment to get STD tested. I'm on my way to an appointment with the county office to terminate our domestic partnership. It's been an incredibly busy 18 hours, but I've had a lot of help from my friends. I haven't been able to sleep either. As far as what happened since he arrived, here's what's up. I had already blocked him before he landed. I received many texts and calls from his parents and sister that I ignored. Then, when I noticed his sister calling, I picked up. At first, the call was hostile. She accused me of being some crazy ex-girlfriend who couldn't let her brother go. Funny, since I had just packed up and left. She brought up that it had been 4 months and that I needed to move on. I told her that the ex never approached me about breaking up, and that 1 month ago, we celebrated our 7th anniversary and started to plan our wedding. I had no indication he even wanted to break up. We reset a bit, and she allowed me to tell her my side of the story. I told her he was somewhat distant this year, but he had blamed it on their grandparents being old and wanting to spend more time with them before they died. Turns out their grandparents have been dead for 2 years. I never met them because my ex claimed they were super racist since the grandpa was a Vietnam War vet. I'm Southeast Asian. Turns out, you can't be racist when you're dead. We ended the call on a positive note, with his sister saying that it was a lot to take in. She said she felt bad because the girl he was cheating on me with was one of her friends. She had introduced them sometime last year when my ex was apparently unhappy with our relationship. They hit it off, and he was supposed to break it off with me. I guess he never had the balls to do so. She was also confused as to why he was on Tinder, as he was already in a relationship with her friend. I sent her all the Tinder receipts after hanging up. Later in the night, I received an email from the ex. To sum it up, yes, he asked me to come to the apartment to talk it out. No, he did not apologize for anything. He ended the email with, "I love you." As far as I know, he doesn't know where I am. I also don't believe he knows where my friend lives, as she just moved and he hasn't been here yet. He also doesn't seem like that type of person, but I guess I didn't really know him after all. We'll keep the locks ready and bats near the door. It's been so helpful just writing out everything that's happened so far, but all of your advice, support, and guidance in this situation have really empowered me to leave. At times, I just wanted to stop packing and hope that when he came home, everything would go back to normal and the texts would just be a distant memory. Your words of encouragement have really helped me follow through and leave. Nothing good would have come from staying. Thank you all again. Edit. Sorry, I was unclear about the timeline. The parents and sister called me about 2 hours after he landed. I assume it was because he got home, realized the person paying half his rent will no longer be doing so, and reached out to his family. The dog poop may have contributed to the heightened emotions. It takes a lot to leave someone you've been with for 7 years. I know you are just a stranger, but I've been thinking about you the whole day, and I wanted to say that I'm proud of you. You've done what many women struggle to do. You are such an inspiration. I wish you nothing but the best for your future. I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. What a shock it must have been to find out all of this about someone you thought loved you. He doesn't deserve to see you ever again, and I know you will never grant him that. Thank you so much. I've just seen so many people struggle with it, and in the end, the outcome never seems good. I'm glad I could get out of it quickly, and I hope other people can too. Last story. I just found out the man I've been seeing for 10 months is getting married this weekend, and I don't know what to do. In January this year, I, 25 female, met someone, 27 male, who I clicked with instantly. He was at the time the new owner of the restaurant and pub I work at, and still is. And from the moment we met, there was an instant connection. He was sweet, attentive, kind, and so loving, and we had so much in common. Everything I thought I wanted in a potential partner. About a month into dating, he opened up about his ex-partner, who he also has a 5-year-old child with. He told me that she had cheated on him multiple times, and that they had split up around October 2024 because of that, and a fair few other issues. He also mentioned that they were supposed to get married this October on the 18th. Things between us started to get rocky around March. He told me he was unhappy with his life and that things hadn't gone the way he wanted. And after that, he started pulling away emotionally. We had a few discussions about where we were going to go from there, but things remained somewhat hopeful. Sometimes he'd cancel dates or change our plans, but his reasoning was always his son. So I had no choice but to be understanding. And of course, I wanted to be. Even though he left me alone in a hotel room for 3 hours on my birthday. It was so hard to even see him in general because he was so busy. Throughout March, April, and the majority of May, he'd come back and tell me he missed me, pull me close again, only to then pull away. It was like an emotional roller coaster with him 24/7, and I never knew where I stood or what he really wanted out of us. By late August or early September, I started to really question where I stood with him. It had been 9 months by this point, and he still hadn't asked me to be his girlfriend. In fact, he explicitly said we weren't together once or twice, without me even bringing it up. When I asked why, he told me he wasn't ready, that things were complicated because of his son, and that if his ex found out about me, she'd stop him from seeing his son. Eventually, I couldn't handle the confusion or emotional back and forth anymore, so we decided to call things off, but with the mutual understanding that we'd both work on our own issues, such as him going to therapy over his anxieties, and we would reconnect in the future and come back healthier. Fast forward to now. Last week on Wednesday, the 8th of October, I started having this gut feeling. Something about the supposed wedding date just didn't sit right with me anymore. I saw him at work with some friends for a drink that evening, and out of the blue, he mentioned booking off the weekend of the 18th to spend time with his son. He'd never said that before, or really ever mentioned his weekend plans unless I asked him, so I asked him directly, "Please be honest, is something going on that weekend?" He looked me dead in the eye and said no, the wedding wasn't that day, and I knew that wasn't true. We got into quite an argument over it, where he said he loved me but didn't know how he felt anymore. That he was confused, that he didn't know what to do about anything anymore, and he genuinely looked like a shell of a human that night. That same night, he drove me home and kissed me before I got out of his car, which in hindsight was wrong of me to let happen. Fast forward to yesterday, 14th October. I still couldn't shake the feeling, and I did some digging. I found her Spotify profile, where there was a newly created wedding playlist, and my heart sank. I ended up trying to find whatever I could online and on socials, and eventually found and called the venue, pretending to be a family friend sending a card. They confirmed it was them. He's getting married in 3 days, a month after we called things off. I was, and still am, absolutely crushed. I confronted him immediately over text, and he told me again that his fiancée, or whatever she is to him, is controlling and nasty and has threatened to stop him from seeing his son if this wedding doesn't go ahead. He said she's been pressuring him for months, unbeknownst to me, and that her father has cancer, so she's using that as another reason to push forward. I asked why he wouldn't go to court if things were really that bad, but he didn't have any reasonable answer other than he thinks it would be miserable for him if the only way to see his son were to go to court, and that children with single parents are miserable. He said all of his friends and family dislike her, that he feels trapped, and that she has a hold on him. On the phone, he begged me not to tell her, saying it would ruin everything and she'd stop him from seeing his son. He told me he loves me and misses me, and that he wishes things could have been different, but that he's scared and feels stuck. I loved him so much, and I really believed we had something genuine. Now I just feel disgusted, betrayed, and completely lost. I don't even know who to talk to because I've never met anybody else in a situation like this before. I don't know what to do. Do I tell her? Do I believe him when he says he's being forced into this? Or is that just another layer of lies to keep me quiet? I feel like I've lost my grip on what's real, and I am really struggling mentally. All I have done is cry for the past 24 hours. I also feel like if I do tell her and he has been cheating, court would favor her argument, and then he really would get to see his son less, and that's not his child's fault, and not something he asked for at all. Where do I even go from here? Edit. All I want to do is ask her and find out the truth. I really do. He just kept saying over and over again that his son is the only thing that matters to him, and that losing access to him would break his heart. It makes me feel so guilty. He is also still my boss, and I feel like I'll lose my job instantly if I go against him. And I'm aware that sounds selfish, but I can't currently afford to lose my job too. Girl, don't be naive. He's been lying to you this whole time. She was never the ex. She was always the current fiancé. You were the side chick. You need to find a new job and then cut this BOS out of your life forever. Also, one parent can't just say, hey, my ex is dating someone new so they can no longer see our child. And judges don't revoke custody because the parent was cheating. They don't even revoke custody in cases of physical or sexual abuse. They're not cutting this guy off from seeing his kid because he was screwing around on his fiancée. OP is incredibly naive, sorry to say. My ex, not ex, is a crazy, controlling B is the oldest lie in the book, and OP is still falling for it. Tell her, are you kidding me? Give her a chance to get out before she's legally tied to this man. Absolutely, I would want to know if the love of my life was actually a cheater. I would immediately inform the other party. Now for the mini update. Thank you so much to everyone who's taken the time to comment. I genuinely appreciate it. I do want to tell her the truth, but I'm going to take the time to look for professional advice first, as he's also my direct employer, and this isn't a large company with an HR department. I'm also looking for a new job ASAP. I just want to make sure I handle everything the right way and protect myself before I decide what to do next. The only feeling I can't shake is that this will affect a little boy who never asked to be a part of this. I also want to add that I was completely blindsided by this and did not know that he was still engaged. He told me it was called off and that they were completely over.